Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are doing a special video on my dragon figure collection. I think it's been just about a year since I've updated you guys on the collection, so I thought it was time to show you what's new because there is a lot of change from last year's video. A lot of new figures and also a lot that I've sold, so some are missing from last year. But mainly there's just a lot of new figures here to show you. So here is an overview. Now, as you can see, I've added a third row, which has helped me greatly to be able to get more figures. So it's a little cramped up here, but it does the job. All right, and I've also actually added, I've been getting into planes as well. So I do have some planes up here on these new shelves that I've put up. So that's a growing collection. I also got a tank, a Sherman tank down that way. All right, but back onto the figures. Let's start out with the US figures. So from here to the end are my European theater US figures. I do have the Pacific figures on another shelf, so I'll show you those probably closer to the end of the video. So I'll just briefly go over each figure. Bear with me as I attempt to do all their names. I probably won't remember everybody. But starting out on the far left, we got Omar Bradley. And behind him is Nate. And Brandon Chase is all the way in the back. It's a little difficult to show the ones in the far back. Okay, we got Ben Harris. Josh Ackerman. And Bobby Dalton in the far back. Okay, we've got Corey Walker. Eddie Strong. And Doc, I think Doc Baker in the back there. All right, we've got Dan Summers. And behind him is Matt Clapton. Okay, we've got George Goldman. That's an amazing figure right there, one of my favorites. Steve Hartman. And then Stan Wiley in the back, another MP figure. Okay, we've got Tab, another favorite of mine. And I'm blanking on this guy's name at the moment, but that's a Cyber Hobby medic figure, really nice one. And then behind him is Deke D'Amato. All right, we got Matt Barkley, an excellent figure. And behind him is Hap Daly and Tom Greger. All right, and then the last row, we've got Garrett White, which is probably my favorite figure of all of them. That is a beautiful figure. And then behind him is, I'm forgetting his name at the moment as well, but he's a cool one as well. James Ford is his name. Okay, well, we're going to move on to the British figures. Now, there aren't as many of them, but I do have a good amount of new ones as opposed from last year. So from here to there are the British figures up on this shelf. So starting out on the left is Geordie Strong. And behind him is Harry Collins. That's a new one and a very nice one. And behind him, Charles Blackie Black. All right, we've got Daniel Blackburn. That's also a new one, and one of my favorites. That's an incredible British figure. Behind him, Daniel Winston, also a new one. And then Peter Coates. All right, we've got Oscar Mckinnon. That's a classic one right there. And of course, one of my all-time favorites. Behind him, Johnny Vicks, and also another SAS trooper, Kenneth Lard. Next up, we've got Charles Redding, a great paratrooper figure. All right, and this guy, who I'm currently blanking on the name, but that's a great one as well. Then we've got Wes Worthy and Mark, and then Norman White in the back. Okay guys, so the rest up here are all German figures, and there are a good amount of new ones to show. So on the left side, we've got Eugene Brecht. Behind him is Lucas Koch, that's a new one. And behind him, we've got Willie and Joseph. These two came together in a FJ Mortar team pack, but those are new ones. And we've got Marcus Shaper and Bernard Beck. Very nice figure. And we've got Nico Hahn, Henrik Weller, and Rolf Seeger in the back. All right, we've got Heinrich Zim. That's one of my favorites, and also a new one. And behind him is Erwin Stangenberg and Hassan Malnor. Okay, we've got Heinz Schmidt, another favorite. And Wilhelm Krauss. And Hugo Hartwig in the back. All right, and here is an awesome figure. Definitely a favorite of mine. This is Arthur Hecht, a very hard one to find. And behind him, we've got Klaus Verheigen, and I am blanking on the name of this guy at the moment, but that's a cool one as well. All right, we've got Nas and then Ernst Kalt. These two came together in a pack. Very nice. And behind him is Diego Lopez Navarro and Alex Haas. Okay, another new one in the middle. That's Hans Meiser. And then Friedrich Kohler in the back. And then at the end, we've got Ludwig Bachmann. Very nice one. And Wilhelm Bachmann. And then in the back is Anton Wessel. All right, guys, so that is all the dragon figures up on this shelf. So there are a lot of them up here. I do have a few more down. Actually, I've got the Russians to show, and then also a few more down there to show you, and also the Pacific figures. Okay, so here are the Russians. I do have a few new ones, but it's pretty much stayed the same from last year, just with the addition of a few new ones, and then I sold a few as well. I don't remember the names of all these guys. I struggle to remember the Russian names, so bear with me here. We've got This guy, one of my favorites. I'm blanking on the name though. And Alexei, definitely an all-time favorite. That's a beautiful figure. And then this Soviet sniper, that's a really cool one. Cyber Hobby. And the middle row, we've got some sailors. Really cool one there. Can't remember the name at the moment. We've got Lev. That's one I was trying to get for a long time. So he's really cool. And Dmitry. And then in the back, we've got Sasha, Boris, and then that's a new one there, which I'm blanking on the name of as well. So I've got 9 of them displayed up there. And then if we come down below, these are just some dragon figures that I don't have room for up above, so I just have them down here at the moment. I do have my Falkland figures over on the right side. I'm only missing one at the moment, but these guys are really cool. Oh, we've got Graham, Jones, what's his name? Robert Human, I think, and then Aman Singh Limbu, and these 3 in the back, Dave, and I'm blanking on these guys' names, but you get the point. Really cool figures. They look great once you get them all together like that. All right, and then on the left side are just some miscellaneous guys here. Another Russia figure. This one is a new one, a really cool one. He's just a little tricky to display because of his mine detector that kind of gets in the way. We've got Max Winzel and Brian Gilkinson and Pete and Paolo Arnesi. My only Italian figure right now. I did sell my other Italians. The Italians aren't my favorite, to be honest, but I do really like Paolo. He's a cool one. Well, then up front we've got Victor Orn and I think Ulrich, is that his name? I'm blanking on his name as well, but those are really cool Kriegsmarine figures. And then a new Russian back there, Yuri, a very nice one as well. Okay, so let's move over to my Pacific figures, and we'll just briefly go over them because this video is very long. So over here, I have my Pacific figures on display on this shelf because I can't fit them in the closet, but I think they look pretty good over here. So I got a few new ones from last year. We've got Josh Mason, that's a new one, a really cool one. All right, Jack Hanlon, I believe, that's a very nice one as well. Charles West, a favorite of mine, as well as Allen. These 2 are probably my favorite Pacific figures. Really nice. And then Lieutenant Andy Carlson. Beautiful figure as well. It's a little hard to see in the back, so I apologize for that, but you can see the middle is Mike Walker. That's a new one, and a really awesome figure. Jack Sullivan. Let me see if I can get that in better focus. So Jack Sullivan, Sam Blake, Jack Hansen, or actually Jake Hansen, Lewis Wilson, and then Dewey on the right side. So a little tricky to see those guys, but those are the Pacific figures, and I think they look really cool over on this shelf. So, all right, guys, well, coming back this way, that is everything to show for my Dragon collection. So it has grown a lot from last year. I was really fortunate to be able to find a lot of super rare figures, like Garrett White, Arthur Hecht, Heinrich Zim, Daniel Blackburn. Just really fortunate to find some of these super rare figures. So it's grown a lot from last year. So I'm now up to 98 dragon figures. So just too short of 100. I would have more than that, but I did sell a lot of them to make room. But there are a lot of other figures that I want to get, so I look forward to showing you guys those figures and reviewing them for you in the coming future. So alright guys, well I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's always fun to share my collection with you guys. Yeah, another quick snapshot of my growing plane collection. Those are Franklin Mint planes and a Franklin Mint tank as well. Those are really nice. So alright guys, well thanks a lot for watching, and thank you especially if you made it to the end of this video, and I will see you next time.